Sorry, yeah, no, I forgot to start it. That's okay. But there'll be some new national standards, and it's going to be just kind of to align the disciplines together, so that way, like I said, mountains with different training options can be able to. So I want to quickly just kind of touch on those. We're also going to go ahead and these are kind of the things they've kind of moved during this discipline alignment, is to kind of pull things apart and actually have them gradable and quantifiable. So like they're going to have a professionalism and self-management and people skills section. We're also going to have more technical skills, which is kind of the writings, and you're going to hear some weird little acronyms and stuff, but whatever. But there's going to be criteria for successful and unsuccessful. And so it's going to be a lot easier for folks to actually know that they passed or failed. And so I want us to kind of go parallel with that as well. And also, of course, teaching skills is another section of that that's going to be gradable. All these sections are gradable as you go forward. And then, of course, the onset of a new 6-point grading scale that 1 through 6, 6 being, the most successful, and then that 1 being the least successful. And that way, and I want to kind of mirror our training along with this, so people aren't shocked when they go to exams and say, wow, man, I'm just thrown out of I have no clue what's going on. So I want to kind of move in parallel with that. We'll probably do some mock exams and things as well, so we can get that going. There's going to be new performance guides. This is the stuff that you guys get to look at that, there's the national standards, what's happening nationally that we all have to train to. Then there's a performance guide, which is basically how is our division going to be running its exams and the information needed to go for certification. And so me and Steve and Kelly Howell just got done revamping the snowboard side. The alpine side just got done doing theirs. Those will be up available on the website soon, but everything else is up on the website, and you can see it. The performance guides are really, really cool. Actually, I must have misspoke, excuse me. The performance guides are done by nationally to kind of give you the successful and unsuccessful. Our certification guide is what we worked on. They give you, like I said, successful and unsuccessful performance contributors, skiing and riding performance, technical understanding, the movement analysis, and then those 6 snowboard fundamentals and the 5 ski fundamentals. So we're going to be, I want you guys to be well versed on those fundamentals and use them all the time, because it's just going to go all the way through into up until certification this season. So once again, these are the certification guides that we've been working on. They haven't been posted yet and quickly edited by the division, but I finished them 2 weeks ago. They're going to once again talk about the grading scale, how it's done. They're not called tasks anymore, guys. I want to make sure we stay clear away from that word, tasks. We don't grade to the task, we grade to the movements within certain and movement patterns within these activities that we have to use just to assess. But also, in general writing, these things are present. So we want to make sure we get away from saying tasks. And once again, super important, those skiing and snowboarding fundamentals, making sure we really relate what we do to those 5 or 6, depending on your discipline. There are some exam day process changes. Level 1 is still a 1-day exam. 2 is still a 2. 3 is still a 2-day exam. But we have to make time for actual pointed movement analysis. Some of the big differences is you're going to probably, on the snowboard side, you're only going to see on the level 2, 1 teaching activity that you get to bring. We're not going to do a 20-minute and a quick 5-minute. It's going to be 1 30-minute presentation on the snowboard side. We'll get into that a little later in detail. The alpine side, I haven't seen if they've changed from having 2 different teach segments on the teach day. But movement analysis for both all divisions or all disciplines, they're moving to the writing day or the technical, and the movement analysis being on that same day. So we have to make provisions for that, and you're going to see that in the exam process. And I want to mirror that in our training too, so that way you guys can all be on the same page. Let's see, real quick, move forward. Some of the goals that I have for us, like I said, is alignment with those things. So people are like going through the whole process and not being taken aback. I know from my own experience, walking into that first day of my level 2 exam, I'm like a deer in headlights. So I want to make it as straightforward and as clear as possible. What I want to do is I want to use this to help improve our new hire training, and teach and do our new hire training according kind of on parallel with that, as well as our rehire training process. We're going to have, of course, for our rehires, just some online content, Zoom stuff. But during the season, the training for our rehires, we're going to really kind of focus and once again, kind of align with that. For our exam candidates, folks who are taking exams this season, I want to make sure that they're well versed. I want people to say like, man, that Timberline level 2 candidate just out of the park. I don't want to hear into this, oh, man, those guys only can carve there, or those guys can only do this there, flatline. I want to get away from stuff like that. And of course, for new trainers that are here, we've got a lot of folks that we've kind of started a new little process I like to call, and we'll get into that a bit later. And as well as our just our regular old instructors, just the guys that are here every single day that are our soldiers, and Steve could attest to that, is trying to provide training that they'll access and use, and it won't be a burden for them. So I want to use, and you guys are the people that are going to help me find ways to reach people. How are we going to actively get stuff to our members who don't usually want to go to clinics? So there's going to be probably more online content. I'm not saying I'm happy with it, but it's what it is. This is not going away. So for you guys, some requirement things to think about is for you, those of you who are going to have the availability to go to Tech Series events, I would like to have you guys really try to go to those. Those are super key, especially this season with some of the different changes we're going to have. I want us all to, if you can, and we have the ability, I want to get you guys into some of those Tech Series events. And we'll talk more about that later. The new trainer mentorship program. We've got a lot of folks who are level 1s and aspiring level 2s here, and 2s kind of go up to 3s that maybe are new into the training realm and being a trainer. I want some of the higher experienced trainers, Lynn and Gordo and myself and Steve, to have mentors like Julian or Carissa or Dave. I'm going to be checking in. I'm going to assign people to like, okay, you're assigned, you're going to work with Julian. I want you to really check in with him every now and again. Let me know what he needs to be more successful to become an active trainer. I would like that to be something that this is a continuing growing process. And I want you guys all to feel valued, because you wouldn't be here if you guys weren't rock stars. I mean, I could grab anybody, but I don't want to grab anybody. I want to grab people who A, want to be here, B, have a shining light that I want to make sure and fan the flames. So that's you guys. One of the things that we're going to start moving into is leading a minimum number of clinics this season. And that's going to also be involved with Zoom. I can't do it all myself. Last year, me and Steve did all the snowboard clinics, at least the big regimented ones, as well as our small amount of alpine trainers. This year, I want some help. I want people to lead some Zoom style trainings, and whether it's just a Q&A session regarding like movement patterns for certain things, I'm totally cool. We're going to work together and come up with content. And then also I want to get you guys out on snow, especially some of these new trainers. I want you guys out on snow working with our staff. Next is the training calendar. This is something that even the people who do not like to use the interwebs, how can we ask our staff who we're trying to ask them to do new movements and new things? How can we ask them to do those things, but we're not asking you guys to even just maybe grow a little bit in your computer skills and access the calendar and sign yourself up for days that you can be here. That's my #1 goal, is to get everybody being is competent and confident on being able to sign themselves up for training clinics. And then that way I can just quickly check, sweet, awesome, we've got Lisa leading this clinic this day. Just quick double check that she's going to be here and I'm good. So those are the kind of things I really want us to kind of work on. This is going to be recorded, so if you guys, I'm going to put it on YouTube and send you all links. Here's a stupid QR code, so you can use your camera that links you right to the Google folder. All of you will have access. A lot of you already do, but I want to make it as easy as possible for you guys to get to that. I know not everybody loves using computers and everybody loves using some of the digital content, but we need to move towards that because it's not getting better. Let's see here. Just to guys give you a heads up on the new hire training dates and the ITC. ITC stands for the Instructor Training College or course. This is something that we do every single season for people who, regardless if you're a seasoned instructor, regardless if you've taught elsewhere, level 3s, you're coming to this event, I don't care. You guys probably all know about it. You guys have all been through part of that process. After that is our new hire dates, and that's the 20th and 21st and the 4th and 5th. This is when we actually have people coming in, and a lot of you, the mentorship program people, I would like you to try and get in and shadow some of this event. I would like you there to kind of watch the process, kind of remove the curtain behind and see what's going on during the training process of these new hire dates. Some of you will be leading them. I don't have the numbers yet for people, so I'm not sure who is all watching this or who will watch it later, but we will contact you specifically whether you will be used during different segments of the ITC new hire. Guys, the folks who are new to this year, please let me know your availability. And if you want to shadow some of these days, I want you part of the process. If you feel like, I want to go through on skis this season just to see the other discipline go through this, I want that to happen just so that you guys get a better understanding of how we do the process going forward. Because at some point, all of you are going to be doing this, leading one of these new hires. That's my goal. Rehire training, once again, it's going to be for the rehires, the guys that have been here forever, going to be all Paylocity-based training to start, and then hopefully we'll get some people attending clinics and such. We're going to have all the clinics we offered last year, Saturday and Sunday. We're also going to have Thursday ski bowls. We might have some midweek days coming depending on trainer availability. So let me know if you're available to A, shadow them, or B, try and lead one. Come up with, for you folks who have never led a full-fledged clinic, come up with a topic. Run it by my trainers, Steve, myself, Lynn specifically, and we've got Charlotte on board too. We really want you guys to let's work together, and if you got something that you're passionate about, present it real quick to us, and if we're like, hey, heck yeah, go out and we'll let you lead it. I mean, I think that's you don't know what you don't know until you get out into the fire of being in front of people as a trainer. That's not really fire, it's a lot of fun actually. They're going to have to do for a rehire a PSI e-learning module, children specific. So it's a quick 45 minutes to an hour. They'll get paid an hour for that section. And then there's what is it? ADHD. What is it again? What's the acronym? Excuse me. Exactly. So hyperactivity disorders and learning disabilities. There's a couple of short videos that they're going to quickly watch through those, and I recommend you guys taking a peek at them too, because they're really, really kind of good. They're short. And then we've got, of course, our job hazard assessment that Kaylin has done wonderful things on. Will be up for them to do. And this is all required training that they'll be paid, and you guys will be paid to do as well. So that way you guys know what you're doing. And once again, the biggest thing I'm most passionate about, and Gordo has helped me out immensely on this, is my new trainer development program, is getting folks to actually go out and lead trainings, and work through the process of becoming an actual trainer. I remember, and Steve could attest, when he became a trainer, basically, there wasn't some sort of guided process. There was just basically, okay, we'll throw you in front of a group, you got your level 3, go. So I want you guys to have more information and more ammunition to go through into these trainings going forward. Let's see. Yep. I would like, once again, all you guys to try and shadow the new hire training that's coming up. Shadow regular training clinics, and then lead them. Even if not for the whole session, why not lead a portion of it? Like, hey, Julian, this half an hour is yours. Take us somewhere. Teach us something. So that'll also be hopefully shadowed by the trainer that can give you guys constructive feedback and guidance on what you guys want to present or what you think. And a lot of this, is going to be organically when you're out there, out there with the training group. Like, hey, you know what, David, man, why don't you, that one thing we talked about earlier on, why don't you bring this up and let's explore it. And you lead the group in exploring this topic. And so there's going to be a lot of that can grow pretty organically. And once again, with the new changes, you must unlearn what you have learned. There will be some new stuff to think about when we're looking at exam prep and such. So I just want you all to be prepared. So I'm going to open it up to, I'd like some people to at least say, why they're here and such. I'm going to actually put Lynn on the spot. She's our new trainer in Colorado. You want to go ahead and unmute yourself and actually just go ahead and say who you are and what you do and why you're here.
Sure, thanks, Tracy. Hey guys, my name's Lynn Hasday. I live in Colorado right now in the Vail area, and I'm coming to Timberline because it's going to be awesome to be able to be at another mountain and learn from all of you guys there and work with everybody.
What's your background, Lynn?
In terms of what?
What do you do and why you do it? Where are you at right now?
So right now I'm in Avon, Colorado, which is below the base of Beaver Creek by the parking lots. And I'm going to be working at Beaver Creek this season full time and also Timberline. And I'm coming out here just for the experience and to learn more about the Northwest Division, more about other opportunities in snowboarding. And I'm looking to just be able to help people in a different division and at a different ski school and learn from you guys and have a great season.
Cool. And so the people in front of you, I'd like them to, and actually, since Charlotte just got on, Charlotte, could you say hi real quick and introduce yourself to everybody? I'm sure they know you, but.
Hi, I lost track of time taking the dog for a walk.
That'll happen.
So
These are the wonderful things about Zoom.
just big butthead. But I'm Charlotte or Narlet. And I started with Timberline in February, so this will be kind of my first full season with the crew. And I'm pretty get some training going.
Cool. Thanks, Charlotte. And of course, you got the rest of the folks here. Ian, why don't you pop on and say hi real quick? And what are you looking forward to get out of this?
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to just getting into the training process. Not really sure what that's going to look like this season, but I really like the people that we have at Timberline, and I love the culture around here. So I'm excited to kind of help shape that and improve my own training skills.
Sweet. And then, of course, Peter C. I'm just going through the ones that are actually not here. So that's Peter C. That's you, buddy.
Yeah, so I've been at Timberline for, I think, 5 seasons now, and just trying to maximize my fun on the mountain, share the passion with others.
Cool. I really enjoy working with Peter. He's an amazing skier, Telly. I'm sure you guys all know him a little bit, but I hope you guys will get to know him a little bit more in the future. And then, of course, Julian, why are you here, buddy?
Well, I plan on sticking with ski school for quite a while, and it's just another opportunity to build up new skills and hopefully build up the next wave. So, yeah.
Joey.
Well, gotta stay on snow and it's teaching and being out there and sharing the passion with everybody. Yeah, I go back.
Let's go around to Carissa. Why are you here?
I love snow sports and I want to help other people come to love it.
Yeah, I've been wanting to.
And might want to speak up a little bit too, just in case the microphone.
Hi, I'm Dave. I've been instructing here for quite some time now. And I want to actually help with the training process.
Lisa, Riverside.
Hi, I'm Lisa. I love to teach and I love to ski and this mountain is beautiful and something to share with everyone.
And then Cobra Kai.
I've been here 2 years now. This will be my third, and I've always really loved attending the clinics, and I'm excited to hopefully help lead some of them.
And of course, we got Gordo back there. Why are you here today, Gordo?
Well, because I'm so senile now, I'm so old that I have a hard time finding my way home. So, but other than that, I just love this place. This will be the 44th year that I've been here. And, I want to be in a little bit different capacity this year, and I hope to be of assistance to everyone.
Awesome. Of course, we've got, I want to bring Alberts up. Albert, stand up. I want you to come up close so people can actually see who you are. We couldn't see you on video. This here is, not yet. You're kind of out there. Got to go on this side. There you go. This is Steve Alberts. He was not with us last season, but he's coming back this season. So we're going to have him also jump on this training bandwagon and hopefully have a really good crew this year.
I'm just here as a condition of release. It's court ordered. You kind of understand. Sorry. No, what do you need me to say?
That's it. That's all I want.
There we go.
Okay. It's kind of hard to see Gordo and Steve. They're right behind the wall, so they're kind of watching on a different monitor. And of course, we got Steve Muse and Kaylin here, the director and assistant director. Do you guys want to jump up and say anything?
Hi. I think I've talked to all of you recently. Yeah, if any of you need any help or ideas or anything like that, come to me. So I've done this for a long time.
Mr. Muse.
Yes, sir. You totally me now.
Okay, awesome. And that's pretty much it. I kind of wanted to just do a quick meet and greet and get us all back to seeing our faces again. Also, I did want us to maybe open it up to questions that you guys may have or concerns that you may have going, starting off the season, and or ideas that you have, things that you are passionate about that you'd like to bring to the table. Now's the time to say something. So I'm going to open up the floor to any individual here. I'll try to keep an eye on the chat if anybody wants to type things in as well. So I'm kind of horrible. I'm doing like 3 things at once. I feel like that.
I have something.
Okay, Lisa.
So I've been putting together a recipe book, it's a playbook, and it's now time to chime in. I'm gonna have you, whatever, read part of it. And so anybody who's successful at any of their little hidden gem of teaching, just to, if you can do like a little lineup or a little lesson plan, like a brief lesson plan, so we can have a little recipe book for our instructors, something that you can pull out of the bag and do with it to kind of just enhance our teaching already, and lots of different ideas, bags, tricks and stuff that work for different skills and stuff. So different movements and just different ways to teach that that can help our whole team. And so I think that right now, like an email or something, we'll get a format down and get it approved by you and Steve and Kaylin, and kind of hopefully get it printed out or online or something for the team.
Awesome. That's great. No, I know you've been working on that for a little bit, so I'm really anxious to see what you've come up with and how it's going to look. So I look forward to that. Charlotte had something, so go for it, Charlotte.
So I'm really excited to work specifically with new hires this season. They're kind of my favorite. And to really lean into kind of the whole season, like to talk about the effective proponent of CAP. That's kind of been a fascination of mine for my level 3 prep. And I think it's one of my bigger strengths as an instructor and a trainer is tapping into that, how do we feel and how do we move forward with everything else based on that. So I'm really looking forward to working with people and really just exploring the effective and kind of mental blocks, for lack of a better word right now, and that side of teaching.
That's cool. That's great. Like I said, we're so happy that you're here from Snoqualmie, and happy that we're going to have you, involved in new hire and rehire, and just our training group as a whole. I think the more I don't want to say family-like, but family-like that we can be, being okay to have differences of opinion, being okay with having, just working this stuff out and working on what we're passionate about. Like yours is the effective side of the CAP model, how we feel and such. So I love it. Anybody else?
One of my concerns was how we were gonna make sure that we were scheduling enough clinics. But through the presentation, that QR code sounds like we're gonna have access to that website, that we don't have to physically be here or call and be like, hey, put me on the sheet. Instead, it would just be when you know that you are available, you can throw it on. So I just thought that was pretty cool, and that pretty much answered the question I had earlier. And so
Yeah.
pretty nice.
My goal is to make it so you guys are kind of steering the ship when it comes to like being available and setting yourself up to lead the clinics that you want to lead. And then it's up to me to sell you guys out there to our staff. Is like, dude, Julian's got this super cool idea, and I'm gonna blast everybody, let them know that Julian's leading a clinic on Friday night. You want to be there because it's going to be fun. He might bust out his single plank. Monoboard. Awesome. Albert, come on up.
I approach.
You have to approach. I'm sorry.
Just to build on that for a second,
Yeah.
I think we have an opportunity here because much of our training revolves around people getting ready for exams. Well, not all of our staff is doing that or motivated by that, but this group is somewhat. So we can take this and tailor to draw some of those people into improving their teaching, improving their writing, improving their presentation, while inadvertently building to exams. And I think we have an opportunity to draw more people in as participants by kind of focusing on specific topics, put fun in it, all of those things, and use the exam process as the toolkit and structure to present that. Does that make sense?
Clear as mud.
Perfect. That's what I was aiming for.
No.
I'm sorry, like, she's with us from Sugarbush, not from wherever she was.
I mean, it is what it is.
So I got a couple.
Yeah, Dave.
You were mentioning that there's some changes to the SIA, and like you mentioned, like they're not focusing on tasks. You know what I mean? In a clinic, would using the is that going to be like a buzzword now that we just need to avoid using altogether? And if that is the case, what's the word we're replacing it with?
That's a great question. PSI is really good at going through these phases of the new thing. This is the new thing.
Yeah.
And so, like, one of the biggest things that was like a couple months back was tasks. We're not teaching to tasks, we're teaching to movements. And these tasks are there just to demonstrate that you can perform these movements at a certain terrain level. So they're technically now called assessment activities.
Okay.
They're still either stupid monkey drills or just regular writing, small radius dynamic skid and turn down blue terrain. That's an assessment activity. And so think about what are you doing in that small radius dynamic skid and turn down blue terrain?
Got you. So they're going to be more focused on like, is this joint doing this at this time to make this movement happen?
And also what fundamental performance, what performance fundamental is being used, or how many of them are being used of the 6.
Because in some situations you might not be using all of them.
Are you skidding? That was short radius dynamic skid and turn. So a skid is one of them. That's one of the fundamentals. Pivot in longer word form, because we gotta make them long words now. But one of the 6 fundamentals is how to manage your pivot in relation to upper body, whole body, and lower body rotation. So just being mindful of, okay, the tasks or the tasks or assessment activities they're there to show movement patterns in relation to twist, pivot, perhaps tilt, pressure with the tool snow interaction, pressure toe to heel, pressure foot to foot.
I guess my question is, how is that different from how it is now?
It's not.
Okay, so they're just using a different word.
It's just packaged a little bit differently, so that way people can have a quantifiable result at the end of certification saying, okay, because the new assessment forms, which I got some sitting out here, and you guys, it's all available just today on PSI national website, is the new assessment forms for level 1, 2, and 3. And they're actually an Excel spreadsheet that we grade with that 6-point scale that we put in what we think you fall in that one little criteria level. It tallies it up at the end, and if you're above that scale or below that scale, you're either successful or
So
unsuccessful.
it's basically to try to make the whole entire exam process seem a little less arbitrary.
You got it.
Cool.
Yep.
That doesn't sound like that at all.
No, it's a lot of big words, and like I said, my goal with doing our performance guide or our certification guide was to not change the process much in the exam. The process goes on behind the scenes with Steve, myself, the other examiners saying, okay, Joe Schmo, he didn't quite nail that one people skill section. He was below the passing bar, so I'm going to give him a 3 on that. Whereas you got, Steve Alberts over there, who's usually at the 6, with his people skills. So it makes it more quantifiable for people, so they can go back to their trainers and say, you know what, I can work on that. Yep, and we can help you with this. Cool. I see that you kind of missed the boat on that technical skill. That's okay. We'll work on that right there. So it's just a more quantifiable result for people to take back to their trainers and say, like, where did I miss the boat at? Or for them to do that self-reflection and saying, man, I wasn't student-centered with what I gave them for my level 3. Let's see. I think Charlotte, I should say, I'm sorry, Dave, I didn't want to cut you off.
No,
Was
no,
that-
nothing.
Okay, cool. So Charlotte, I see your hand is up.
Yeah, one thing that I'm really excited to see with like the new standards, which Sean Vetter had hinted at last season, were coming down the pike, is like those people skills. And that's kind of like the other reason why I'm really excited to really lean into the effective, just because it seems like national and maybe at a regional level too was starting to notice that like we were putting so much focus on like the cognitive and especially physical, obviously, but that like the effective was kind of almost like getting pushed off. It wasn't like it was taken into consideration, obviously, but it wasn't, we didn't put as much emphasis on like training to that. It was kind of like, okay, you're in front of people, figure it out.
That's well spoken, Charlotte. Yeah, it kind of, I don't want to say, like haven't been that involved with the Alpine side of this development. I can only speak, I know, but we're trying to make them align, so I can speak to what we've been trying to do to make them kind of the same. But it's really neat to see that, there's measurable results for somebody who just wasn't student-centered, didn't take the individuals inside the groups, goals and motivations in mind when they did that progression. And so being mindful of that when we teach, and like, okay, I see I've got a group of 8 or 9 in here. I've got to make sure at certain levels, like at level 1, just for example, I've got to meet the group's needs as a whole. I've got to and maybe start doing some self-assessment on myself and assessment on the group. I'm not really pointing to individuals, whereas level 2 and 3, it's more holistic as well as individualistic in our people skills and how we present information. So I like that. Anyone else? Lynn, do you have anything? You got questions, or you're sneezing there? I see. Ian, Peter, do you have anything that you can think of that you'd like to ask or are curious about? Oh, Lynn is.
Hey, Tracy.
Yeah.
I've got something for you guys. I noticed that all the Zoom clinics are dual discipline for MA. Is one clinician going to be doing ski and snowboard, or are there going to be two clinicians on them?
That's a very good question. I'd say why not? Why does it matter? We could do. Oh yeah, okay, thank you. Yeah. So Lynn asked, like a lot of the Zoom clinics that are available through the division, they're basically dual discipline set up. Whereas we really haven't been doing a whole lot. We've done some snowboard Zoom MA sessions, specifically for level 2 prep for candidates last season, because that was basically the first year we started using Zoom at all. And this year, yeah, I think it can totally be dual discipline for whatever clinician wants to lead a Zoom event, and that can be opened up to everybody, regardless of alpine or snowboard. The tools are very similar. They're less dissimilar than they are similar. So I mean, an edge is an edge, a base is a base. You might have 4, you might have 2, blah 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 blah. Did I paraphrase it correctly, Lynn?
Yeah, that makes sense.
Okay, yes. The answer is yes. We were going to be having dual discipline led Zoom MA clinics. And we've got a whole bunch of people in here who, go ahead and put your name on the docket. Let's see if we can. I haven't set up the training calendar to add the Zoom events on yet. That's my next kind of progress and goal for that Google Calendar, as well as getting everyone's names and access to it. Cool. Anything else, Lynn? Was that it?
Yeah, for the Zoom clinics, we did some clinics for the trainers where we could teach all the trainers how to run Zoom clinics for MA, because you need to like share the video, you need to be able to write on the screen.
Are you gonna sign up for that?
I was gonna offer to help if you guys want help with that.
Yes. Totally. I've like my experiences. I've been thrown into this quite quickly and doing my best at trying to figure out this platform. And any help from anybody who is like please, let's have that happen.
I know we talked about having me lead some last season, then I think it just fizzled out, but I'm happy to help this season too, because I think MA on Zoom is really beneficial for like building a foundation of MA. I feel like eventually like using like the slow-mo and like doing screen by screen, like that's helpful to just build an eye, and then it's like you're more efficient at it when you get on snow. So I really like that we have that tool at our disposal.
And also, like you've both Lynn and Charlotte have had a lot of experience with Chris Hargrave has been doing a weekly Zoom training event for this whole season, this whole last season. I definitely can get you guys give you guys that resource to jump in on that, because he's been doing, and this is all volunteer by him. He hasn't been working with us on it, and it's really some good information. I mean, Charlotte and Lynn have Charlotte's a moderator on it. I think Lynn is as well. So like they've been involved in that, and whatever I can get here to help out with training is like I want. And so that's a beautiful vehicle, is being part of that. Chris has done a wonderful job with that. And you two as well, both you and Charlotte and Lynn helping out with that. Anyone else have questions or concerns? Oh, go for it.
I was just wondering, with PSIA finally adding the people skills aspect into the whole process, is that something we'll lead clinics into as trainers, or are we planning to train that in any other way?
No, we will definitely, as trainers, be working with, kind of jumping in with that people skill model in mind, and having maybe less time in our clinic working on their own writing. It's going to always be part of a clinic process, but I think we're going to have more emphasis on the actual, the people skills and the teaching skills specifically. So that way, we're hitting all of the bases. That's something that's probably been lacking in training around here for a while. I like to make sure we really push on that. But we also have to make it fun and interesting. I mean, why else would you be in a clinic, after a long, hard day of working? It's not because you're sitting inside watching some weird, video on how to teach. It's about being involved in it. So I'm gonna look forward to having.
I think a really good way is to like help yourselves, but then like as trainers help other instructors kind of refine those people skills. Is I've found a lot of benefit of just like talking with another human about like the lesson that I had, good, bad, mediocre, like just walking through it, because then you can kind of like digest what went well and like where you can improve. And so maybe getting in the habit with like finding your trainees and like having them like pull it out of them, and then also like getting in the habit of like seeking out a peer or Tracy, Steve 1, Steve 2, Kaylin, and just like talking through a lesson, because that's like really where like the ideas of like, oh, it'd be cool if you did this like next time, or like, and that's where you get to steal other people's tools from their toolbox too. So maybe making that a habit of just like being, as trainers, we're leaders, so seeking out the other instructors and getting them to talk about their lessons will, I think, benefit all parties.
Well said, Charlotte. Thank you for that. Yes. Lynn posed me a quick question on chat that I might bring up. She asked me if we have any basically specific on snow trainers training, and we haven't really in the past. In my experience, we've had times we go out and ride together and we talk about concepts on the chair and whatnot. But yeah, I think we should specifically have all of us get together out on snow and like work on this stuff as trainers, so that way we kind of are on the same page as we bring it down to the rest of our staff. Oh, Gordo, sir.
Last spring, though, we ran a 3-week new trainer clinic, where I ran a 3-week new trainer clinic that I felt was one of the better things that we've done. And I felt that the participation by the people were there, Lisa, Ian, and a couple others, Tracy. It was excellent. And we have a season that lasts forever. So, and typically we have not utilized the month of May and June as well as we can to go over what happened the year before and to improve our skills for the upcoming year. Because I've been doing this a long time, and no matter how well you make plans this time of year, when Christmas break hits and they're throwing coats at everybody and everybody's out there, the training kind of goes by the wayside. And by the time we catch our breath, it's President's Day. And then by the time we catch our breath again, it's Martin Luther King Day. And by the time we get to the middle or end of March, everybody hates each other. So let's hope that doesn't happen this year. And
I mean, speak for yourself, Gordo.
Yeah, that's true. I hate it. But the bottom line is, there's months at the end that we could do some amazing stuff as a group, and it was fun. I had fun.
So Gordo, I think the industry as a whole doesn't do enough in May. I think too many of us, be it the planning side, the IT side, the instructing side, any of it, wait until September. Right. Trying to, you don't have much time, and it's not what happened the year before is not fresh in your mind.
And one of the things I've always wondered about is that you have exam candidates that maybe they weren't successful. Well, then they stew on it all the way till December of the next year, when in May and June we could be running things for our groups.
You can speak up a little bit, could you?
We could be running things for our groups that really addressed the feedback we got from these new forms. And I know that we would get good vibes. That's all I got to say.
Awesome, Greta, thanks. Yes, that has been I think, a really good kickoff to bring on new trainers this year. Was that that new trainer program that we started last year. I was a part of it out on skis. I want to be a part of that as well. I want to continue working for getting the folks who haven't been put in front of grips more, getting more comfortable to be out there and know that they have the knowledge and the skills to put forth a decent training clinic. And it's not done overnight, that's for darn sure, but it's definitely a step in the right direction. Steve, did you?
Don't be late for my lineups.
Okay, we've got about 3 more minutes. If anybody has another question that they can quickly ask, then I've got one little thing at the end. Does anybody else have anything? All right. One little nugget that was dropped on us this season, and I want you guys to think about it a little bit, is we are now fully embraced with Summit. It is now Timberline Ski School runs Summit Ski School. So we are now one entity, which is going to be actually very fun, I think. As well as now we have the terrain from top to bottom that is all ours. So you'll be able to, there's some, they're going to groom the Pine, I believe, as well as groom Westleg. So we'll be able to make our way all the way down there with ease.
They're gonna groom Westleg, all of Westleg.
Yeah.
So would that technically mean it's no longer out of bounds, right?
Correct.
Ah.
At least down to there. It hasn't been said what the lines are at. I'm not aware of them. But when and if people decide to, yeah.
That's pretty cool.
So you guys will have the ability to, and then it's all in works to get the gondola to come up here. But so now we're going to be thinking about, we're going to have the instructors that are there come up here and work with us. And then you guys are going to have the ability to teach down there as well. Yes.
Do you guys have a system figured out for as far as like instructors and like who's going to be scheduled or like what lessons will be held where? Or is that still kind of like being figured out?
It's kind of being a little figured out. We've got a rough draft of the plan. I believe we have it in place. Just kind of happened today. But there is going to be, it's all going to be scheduled through up here. All the scheduling will be done. They're going to have instructors that are probably going to be scheduled down there for the group lesson lineups. And then we might, you know, depending on people who want to, send people down there if there's need, or if, you know, if there's the need and you want to go, we totally can. Steve, did you want to check at all about any of that, or is that pretty much just a little nugget we can leave?
Yeah, we're still trying to figure that all out. We're gonna have probably mostly dedicated staff down there that's already worked down there. But we will have the opportunity to send people down if they need help. So it's not gonna be a requirement to go there and teach, but there will be opportunities for that to happen. So stay tuned on that. It's brand new for all of us. We just figured out today kind of how we're gonna lay it out, and then we'll go from there.
But it is great teaching for
Yep, and so that means we're going to be possibly leading some training clinics down there, as well, with our wonderful ski bowl clinics that we like to do. So awesome. Well, if nobody else has anything else, I look forward to working with each and every one of you this season, and hopefully have a really successful and long and amazing season. So thanks everybody for taking a minute out of your evening, or an hour out of your evening, to come and say hi, whether virtually or up here. It's really nice to see everybody up here. So thanks again, friends.
Thanks, Tracy.